Bonjour! Today I'd like to talk to you about online translators, things like Google Translate. So, we're going to talk about why they don't work, ways to avoid them, and some alternative resources. So, first, I thought it might be important to think about why we might want to use an online translator. Some of this comes from just curiosity. I'd like to know how to say this in French or in whatever new language I'm learning. And you want to be able to express yourself as fully in this new language as you can in your native language. But if you think about how long you've been learning English, most likely since you were a baby, you've had years to soak up vocabulary and learn all the ways to make sentences. And so you just have to be patient with yourself as you learn a brand new language. Other reasons, just feeling overwhelmed, not knowing where to begin on an assignment. Um, Maybe you know individual words, but you just have no idea how to put them into a sentence. Another thing would just be simply procrastinating. I have 5 minutes to get my homework done before I need to go to class, and so I'm just going to use Google. But the important thing for you to know is that online translators really don't work. Basically, we are so reliant on smart phones and smart technology, but we forget that none of that is as smart as a human being. So, computer programs just cannot understand all of the nuances of language. They can translate individual words quite successfully, but they rarely can translate a phrase or sentence accurately. So, here's an example straight out of the first day of French 1 or French 1010. You learn my name is. So you forget how to say this when you go home and you want to remember how to say it. So you type it into Google Translate. And Google Translate tells you mon nom est. It literally translates each of these words individually instead of the phrase that you learned in class for my name is, which is je m'appelle. While mon nom est is not technically incorrect, it's simply French people just don't say that. They say je m'appelle. So Google is just not smart enough to know the ways that real French people actually use language. So here, this little guy, je m'appelle Ours et je mange les petits enfants. So he looks friendly, but he actually eats little kids. So another extremely important reason for you to avoid using online translators is that use of any online translator or any other online tool to complete your homework is cheating and will be dealt with per the ETSU policy. So from the syllabus attachment, you see this little paragraph here. East Tennessee State University is committed to developing the intellect and ethical behavior of its students. Students found to be in violation of policies on plagiarism, cheating, and/or fabrication will be held accountable for their actions. Any knowledge of academic misconduct should be reported. Students are expected to act with honesty, integrity, and civility in all matters. So what you see here is that ETSU holds its students and faculty to a high level of honesty and integrity. So it says here that any knowledge of academic misconduct should be reported. So that means that I, as an instructor, have an obligation to the university to report you if you are completing your work dishonestly. So you hear teachers, instructors, professors talking about plagiarism and cheating, and we go on and on about it to the point that you are just tired of hearing it. But really and truly, this is such an important part of your education that you conduct yourself with integrity. I heard of a student who at ETSU who was completing an MBA program, an accelerated MBA program, master's in business. Um, and this was an expensive course. Um, I believe this person was about halfway through their requirements for this degree when they were found to be plagiarizing. and removed from the program. So not only did they not receive their degree, they lost all the money they had invested into this program and most likely would not be able to go on and study somewhere else due to this very costly mistake. So please don't take this issue lightly. So, on a happier note, how can you avoid this temptation? It feels like it would just be so easy to type something into Google and get an answer. So, first, you need to keep it simple. Remember that you are at the very beginning stages of learning French. You can, I'm sure that you can write complex, exciting, wonderful sentences and stories in English. But it's going to take you time to build up the skills that you need to be able to do this in French. So please don't be afraid to write really simple kindergarten style sentences, and that's okay. It doesn't make you any less smart. Okay, another thing is use the French you know. Don't try to make sentences in English. This sort of goes along with the first point, but don't try to make sentences in English and then turn them into French. Think about the phrases and the vocabulary words that we've learned in class and through our textbook, and the ways that you can put that together to make some meaningful communication. Another thing is to ask your instructor for help. Please just get in touch with me if you have questions about something. I really honestly love answering student questions, whether it's before class, after class, during class, you think of something while you're doing your homework, or you get home and you're like, I have no idea what she just told us in class today. I am confused. Send me an email. I check email on my phone throughout the day, so I am often able to get back to you very quickly. We can arrange a time to meet for office hours. If we really couldn't figure out a way to get together in person, we could do Skype or FaceTime or anything else like that. So just need to be creative in ways to get together and talk about anything that might be causing you problems. I would rather that you not complete the homework or do it halfway and put a question mark next to half of it than to try to figure it out online. So, what to do if you want to learn some new words? Because obviously, I don't want to leave you hanging with no way to look up a new word in French. I would recommend wordreference.com. The website and the app are really reliable, and I'm going to make a separate video about this, but you can look up a word and you can see the various meanings for each word, because things like a fan. Fan can have different meanings in English. A fan can be something on your ceiling that is spinning around trying to make you cool off in the hot summer. It can also be someone who is cheering for a football team. So think about the fact that words can mean lots of different things. Wordreference.com will give you all of those different meanings and in context, so you can make sure you're choosing the right word when you look things up. So please check out my video on wordreference.com for additional help with that. Merci de votre attention. Thanks for paying attention. À bientôt.